Okay, we going live. Here we go. Hey, everybody, it's your girl, Author Doc B. She's in the building. And guess what? We have a special treat for you tonight. So, yeah, go get your popcorn, sit back, click, like, and share with anyone that you would like to share with. Because let me tell you something, you're in for a treat tonight. Okay? So, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, Azzam, who is in the building, Triple A is in the building, and he's going to introduce the show, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about our special guest tonight, and we're going to get started that way.
All right, all right, all right. Good evening, family. Welcome back to Bring It to the Table every Thursday to the best of our ability at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We are here once again, the podcast that addresses the social justice issues in our community, the equality and the freedom that's needed for the proper healing. Let's not forget that this is the podcast, right? The offspring of Felicia Burton's book entitled The Three C's, How I Survived Crack, Cancer, and COVID-19. Let's not forget her memoir, Your Self-Help Tool Book, which is a 30-day regimen to help you become healthy. Again, I always add that health is wealth. Don't wait to get better, because get better right now so you don't got to worry about getting better later on. Get the book. It's in Amazon now. She has been nominated, right, for the best-selling, right, book, right? She just received that. But now, let's talk about this. We are streaming live, right? Spotify, Facebook, Twitter, Indeed, and YouTube, right? And I'm going to let y'all know right now, you got my boy in back of me, Doc, you see him, right? He's in back of me right now. You got Freddie X in the building. Right, so
Freddie X is in the building, baby.
He is in the building,
Come
right?
on,
So we got click, like, share. The phenomenal sister that's coming on. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be an honor and privilege for her to be here. You know, we're gonna sit back. Please she said it. Get your popcorn, get your drinks, because you don't want to take no bathroom breaks, because this sister is on fire. I love her spirit, but you know what I'm saying? At this time, you know, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to be in and out, but I want to give it to the host, Author Doc B, at this time. She's going to give y'all some highlights of the sister. Then we're going to bring her on.
Thank you so much. We really do appreciate you, co-host. I got the best co-host on the planet. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can call me later. Call me later. And so tonight, we are going to bring on a phenomenal woman by the name of Tanisha Palmer. Listen. She's the CEO and founder of the In the Eyes of Grieving Mothers 501c3. Aisha Mosley, President. Lukman Abdullah, Vice President, Chairman. Verdila Wilson, Community Liaison. It's so much. The list is just going down, right? Look, and Nicole Cogdell, Communications Officer. That's what she is. And she's going to tell us much more. You can all find her at grievingmothers13@gmail.com. And her Facebook page is In the Eyes of Grieving Mothers. There's a documentary out there on YouTube as well. And Tanisha Palmer states, a shattered heart leaves behind fractured pieces. God then assembles them to form a masterpiece of puzzle. So we're going to hear from her in just a minute. Listen, she's backstage, so you just better get ready. Please click like and share, comment. We love an interactive. Thank you for joining. All right. So let me tell you something about Tanisha before we bring her on. She is a steadfast community wellness specialist. That's a whole tongue twister, honey. Steadfast community wellness specialist and the visionary founder of In the Eyes of Grieving Mothers. Her relocation from Chester, Pennsylvania to Philadelphia in 2008 marked the beginning of a deeply impactful journey dedicated to uplifting marginalized communities grappling with gun violence, trauma, and substance use disorders. That's our kind of girl, ain't it, y'all? Come on, we like them kind. Look, with over a decade of recovery experience, right? Y'all know what a decade is. That's 10 years, right? 10 whole years. Tanisha is a seasoned trauma-informed care specialist, first aid and mental health instructor, a certified recovery and peer specialist. Don't get it twisted. That's two separate certifications, okay? And we'll talk about that when we get ready to talk about her education. Her extensive expertise enables her to impact evidence, to impart on evidence-based healing methods such as life skills and recovery supports. Watch this, on a global level. See, we like them global leaders.
Right there.
We love them global leaders. You heard it first, right here. We'll bring it to the
Right
table.
here, bring it to the
Global. Woo! We love it. We love it. We love it. Can't wait for you all to meet her. Look, on a global scale, look, making significant differences in the lives of countless individuals striving for healing and resilience. That's what we're about. Come on. I love it. Tanisha, right? Her work is profound and is far reaching. Look, not only does she do advocacy work, y'all, local, she's global too. I said that. She has guided thousands, not hundreds, not tens, thousands, okay, through and now y'all might not know this word, but I'm gonna tell you what it means anyway, because I'm a little bit smart, okay? She has guided thousands of arduous, ARDUOUS journey of bereavement, helping them craft self-care plans and that nature, resilience, and hope can be seen. Okay. You heard what I said. Y'all better look that word up. You know what it means? Let me see. I looked it up before. I think it means hard to accomplish. So we know that grief is something that happens in stages, and it may not happen in a particular order, but Tanisha is doing that groundwork, helping them heal. Okay. That hard work is some of the stuff that we just leave by the wayside. She's saying, no. We're going to address that. Okay. I love that. My kind of girl. Look, she also has self-care plans for them. Look, she acts also as a motivational speaker and a peer family youth advocate. Tanisha provides empathic, I know that word, EMPAT, empathetic, I got that right, and compassionate support to adolescents. Ooh, that community of adolescents. We need that, Tanisha, battling substance use disorders, showcasing a deep understanding of their struggles from that teenage stuff. That stuff is real, I'm telling you. Look, and relentless commitment to recovery. Ooh, I got one more paragraph. Y'all got to bear with me because y'all know I get excited. I get tongue-tied and all that kind of stuff. Her life's mission, she has one, and you should get one too. Her life's mission is to serve as a source of strength and support, aiding others in managing and overcoming recurrent emotional trauma. Y'all know we like helping people with their emotions, right? Through her tireless, that's what it says, work and personal journey. Oh, that's why she want to bring it to the table, because she has some personal experience. Okay. Tanisha Palmer continues to inspire and uplift those facing their darkest moments, right? Illuminating the path towards recovery and hope. And without further ado, Tanisha is backstage, and don't forget, she is the founder, CEO, and founder of In the Eyes of Grieving Mothers 5013C, president of Lukman Abdullah, vice president, chairman of Verdella Williams Community Liaison, and Nicole Cogdell's communications officer. That's a whole lot of titles and a whole lot of stuff. I don't know. I thought she was backstage. Is she backstage? Wait, what's she? She might have went to the bathroom. Well, we get ready to bring her on as soon as she get back in that seat. I'll see her. But this is Azzam's recommendation for our show today. And let me tell you this, all the way at the bottom, it says Isaiah 40 and 29, he gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Without further ado, that is from on Tanisha's bio. We're going to bring her on right now.
She is in the building. What's up, Tanisha?
There she is. Are you on mute?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
You can't hear us?
You can't hear us?
Now I can.
There you
we
go.
We can hear you very well.
Okay.
Hi, Tanisha.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show. We really do appreciate you.
Oh, it's a privilege and an honor. It really is.
Great. So we have a series of questions, and the way that the podcast works, and I'm sure that Azzam briefed you because you were his recommendation. Now, Azzam don't just bring anybody on the show. He don't just say, all right, it's my turn to find somebody. I'm just going to bring Tanisha. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Okay. He bring people with substance and validity to the show. Okay. So he chose you. And I said, yep, that's our kind of girl. As I was reading through your bio, you got these little fancy words and stuff. Because, people, I loved it. I said, okay, let me look that up. Because I'll think I'm smart. And then next thing you know, I really don't know what that word means. And it means something completely opposite of what. So make sure y'all get a dictionary. You heard it right here on Bring It to the Table. Thank you all for joining. It's a show that we address everyday people like you and me, bringing it to the table. Hi, Sister Amina. Hi, Sister Carolyn. Hi, everybody. I see you all for joining. Thank you so much. Tanisha has just joined us from backstage. I've read her bio. She is the CEO and founder of In the Eyes of Grieving Mothers. And guess what? What did I say her topic was today? Y'all remember? Put it in the chat if you know what her topic is, because she finna drop some jewels on y'all. Okay, she getting ready to let you know how she got there. Okay, because we ain't gonna hold nothing back, Tanisha. I'm letting you know right now. We bringing it to the table tonight.
Well, I'm a very transparent person. As Azim said, I really appreciate it. I'm very, 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 very honored, for one, to be a part of the podcast. Anytime that anybody asks me to come out and share my journey, because that's what it is. It's a journey. This story never ends, so.
That's right. Absolutely. It's funny you said journey, because I was reading The Journey Continues earlier today in Growing Pains, and I had to drop a couple of dimes on that. But let's get back to you, Tanisha. Who is Tanisha? Can you answer that first question to the audience? Right now, I'm talking about who is she? Who she thinks she is?
Tanisha is a mother that has been through a lot of trials and tribulations. I'm a person that has an open mind. I live I don't live a secret life. I'm very open. And I'm that way because of the doctrines that I was taught as a child. What goes on in here stays on in here. And what happened, I found that that's not the way to raise up a child. And that's how I was raised up, being sheltered inside and sheltering up and locking my emotions and feelings in. So today, Tanisha is a person that follows a 12-step program that I'm so pleased and honored to say that I'm involved in. I'm a mother today. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm a great listener, and I'm a individual that lost a child. My 7-year-old child was murdered at the age of 7. And now I just give back and try to help other individuals and families try to heal in a healthy way. So that's who Tanisha is.
That's what I'm talking about. That community service, because it said that right here in your bio. I loved it. And the way that you've written it, that it's written, the format in which it's written. And I mean, it's simple and it's to the point. It really is. It's to the point, but it got some real good juicy pieces in there. Why are you laughing? I know I'm funny,
You
right?
know why? You know why I laugh? You know why I laugh? Because it was a time in my life that I couldn't laugh. It was a time in my life that I was going through challenges and I couldn't find peace. I couldn't find a way, to be able to find peace without having something in place, materialize, or having a physical person to bring me peace. So anytime I'm able to it just comes from the inside and just vibrates out. It's just a natural thing. It's a natural thing. And I love
it. I love it. I love it. I swear I do. And I ask that because people usually say I'm funny, or I usually this what my audience tells me. They'll send me something in the inbox or something like that. Like, why you make that face when such and such said such and such? So I'm thinking, am I making faces to make her laugh? Stuff like that. But anyway, my stuff. And so can you please tell the audience where you grew up at?
Sure. So I was born and raised in Little Rose City down in Chester, with my mother in a single household. I am the second out of the 4 children that my mom had, next to the oldest. So it's my oldest brother, then me, and then my 2 younger siblings. I was born and raised in a low-income environment, in the low-income development environment, however you want to see it. Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't know why. Now, okay. Look, now you just got me a little nervous now. you know what? But I find that, let me say this. Because I'm often, I speak a lot, but I find that whenever you're going back to a place that caused any type of trauma, or any that raise up any type of emotions or feelings, we find ourselves shutting down. So, and I'm real, like I said, I'm a very, very honest person. I don't just, like I said, I follow some steps, and in those steps I learned that it's okay to share with other people how you feel. So this is just me just tapping into how I feel. So I got a little bit nervous because I'm talking about some uncomfortable places. I really, being where I came from and being raised up in a household that I came from, it was substance use in the household. It was my mother was a very caring mother. We didn't want for anything. However, it was no emotional attachment there because of the challenges that she faced. As she tried to raise 4 children on her own and being involved with individuals that challenged with substance use abuse. And, I laugh because I remember it was times that we would say, well, where are he at, Mom? Where our stepdad at? And she would say, oh, he in college. And we used to think, me and my other brother, like, he's smart. But every time he got arrested, that's what she would tell us. So it's just the lies that, the lie. And we say that they're lies and stories, but I think that's what it is as parents, we find ways to try to tell our children what we believe that will try to protect them in their feelings, by telling them little fabs and little stories. But in my household today, I'm very transparent, and the communication line in my household is very strong because I share things with my 18-year-old child about myself, and we have conversations. We have open conversations a lot.
Sure, as you should.
That's good stuff.
Transparency is great. That's really the only way. And that is the what we call the clinical route to healing. Mm-hmm. That is really the clinical route to healing, is not because, and people don't realize the difference between truth, honesty, and transparency.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes people be just telling the truth, but they ain't transparent, because when you transparent, it's a level of sincerity that touches and reaches the other person, and their heart is connected to it, and you're gonna feel what they're saying.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just saying what I felt too as well. I felt the same.
I felt that. I felt that.
You can see it. I felt it come through the screen. And, and so audience, what you got to understand is, she says, now, when you look at the transition, the core beliefs and the core values that happened to her as a child, she's not trying to do that to hers now. You get what I'm saying? So that was another hint that I caught right there. But I felt when you stopped and said, you had to go back to a place, and when we go back to this place, we go back there with our emotions, our spirit, and everything. Go back to that little girl.
Everything.
Be that man. That was deep. That was deep. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good, Doc. I told him to be in and out.
And that's a great way. Listen, she is up in this joint, and that's a great way to get this to this level of freedom too.
Yeah,
so she's free to be who she really is, and say and bring it right to the table like she's supposed to do. Right. So now you said that substances was involved in the household, right? And how did that impact you? In your talk about like kindergarten through 8th grade. Tell the audience about that and how the substance use in the household impacted you in those years.
So as a young child, right, and you have a parent that you believe in, that you love, you know, when that parent teaches you or disciplines you, whatever they teach you or discipline, or the way they discipline you, you know, you think it's for the good of you. So as a child, you're young, you're innocent, you're blinded to it, you know, so it's a way that you just somehow you just get it's like it's a way of living, you know, you just kind of get. That's the way you grow. That's the way you that, because that's the way you're nurtured. I guess that's what you say. So you believe it.
Like it's kind of like you adapt to
you're right.
the
That's the word I was looking for.
That's the word you're looking for. That adapt. You adapted to that environment, and of course, parts of what you adapted yourself to became you. Like we start practicing that stuff. Am I on to something here?
Right. Well, it's really not a practice because it's forced upon you, right? Because growing up in my household, we didn't have a voice. You know, it's what my mom said, you know, it's what I said. If I said it, I meant it. And that was that, you know, and we had no choice but to be obedient to what our parents told us. So if we saw things in the house as we did, you know, we didn't see like physical abuse, or nothing like that. I mean, we was disciplined in the ways that my mom was raised and disciplined. However, you know, as it relates to what we saw as substance use, we saw a behavior that we knew that was abnormal in the household. But however, because he kept returning and mommy kept returning back, and then we was always told different stories about why he was gone, or why he took away the Christmas toys, or why the sheets was missing, and, you know, things that was happening in the house. We loved mom so much that we believed everything that mom said, but it wasn't until well, for me, it wasn't until I got into my process of the 12 steps and me learning about, you know, behaviors and everything, because I tend to I repeated that same patterns that I saw.
Okay, I really stay right there. Now stay right there. Stay right there. Now see, and I knew this was gonna happen, but you said I repeated.
Right.
So, and I want to tell the audience this, because this is what we do here at Bring It To. We break it down.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the difference in the repeating what you saw and practicing what you saw?
So to me, practicing is a conscious. That means that I know what I'm doing and I'm practicing it. You know, I want to get better at it. Mm-hmm. But me repeating something is me just seeing something constantly. I have no control over it. So it becomes a part of me. So that's the difference from practicing and being, that's the difference for me.
That was good.
I love it. That's great. Go ahead, Azim. I love it.
Oh my God, that was good, because it reminds me, and it says, early in life, man and woman creates habits. Late in life, the habits creates the man or the woman. So now that I see this repeated habit, now I want to get better at it. Now I'm practicing how to get better at it. So that's definitely how it happens, man. That was good. Yeah, and I get it, because I can identify with that. I seen it. This is what it was. This became the norm. Because when I think of socialization, right, it becomes from all different places. How do we socialize? What did we see became our socialization? It ain't the same norm for everybody else. What happened in the house, that became our first socialization, our first habit forming thing. It made me think of the definition that I found about addiction one day. It said it's a psychological or physiological, and it's habit forming. Right, but it says such as narcotics, right? But it says, but regardless of what it is, right, the sensation still causes severe trauma. So it don't even have to be a drug, right? The emotional, mental, and spiritual trauma.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That comes with that. Oh, absolutely. Man, that good one. That was real
absolutely.
Good. Yeah.
So let me just say this, and I'll get off this because I could beat this up all day. And I'm not the feather type of chick. I'm the raw one, uncut like type of chick. Look, in the verb form, practice. In the verb form, practice. Guess what it says?
What it says?
Actively repeating patterns. I'm just saying.
Come on now.
Active. It said right here, and I'm in Webster. I'm in Webster. Active. This is in the verb. This is practice in the verb form. In the noun form is what you said. Okay. It's what you said. So I just, because we love these little moments with these teaching moments, because that's what bring it to the table is. Because I swear I know something, girl. When I swear I know something, I'll be trying to stick to it. Yes, it is. It's right. It's right. That's how I know I'm an addict for real. Because I ain't nobody.
I'm always open to learning. I stay open-minded, even sometimes if I get caught in a moment and I think like I got the answer and I know it, I'll reach out to somebody else and say, listen, I need your advice. I need your suggestion or something, or I'll do some research or something like that,
Yeah. And so that's good. Thank you so much for your transparency thus far on the show. We really do appreciate it.
Yes,
and so now, can you talk about high school? What was life like for you? You talked about like kindergarten through 8th grade, growing up and stuff. So, in the household, substances, patterns, practices, and all that stuff. You dropped the bomb on that one. So what about high school? What happened in high school? What was going on in Tanisha's life in high school? And what high school did you go to?
So I attended Chester High School.
I heard about Chester because I got recovery in Philly. So I know about Chester.
Yeah,
I was scared to go up there, girl.
It wasn't that bad. I think that so in high school, so in my teenage years, I began to get very rebellious, right? Because as I transitioned from being, my younger years to the teenage years and puberty didn't hit, I'm going through all these mixed emotions. I'm transitioning and going to different schools. I'm learning and being around other people, and I began to become very rebellious, because I just didn't, at this point, I didn't know who I was, right? I was what I saw in the house, what my mom wanted me to be. They would have me doing these modeling shows and that I was doing these modeling gigs, and my mom made me do this marching band, and
don't talk about the color
was everything that I wanted to be.
I like the color guard. Don't be talking about the color guard now.
Listen, I was in the Benton High Steppers, and we were undefeated. Like, but you know what? In everything that I want to say this too, because I don't like to. I know usually when I speak on these podcasts and then I re-listen to them, it's like I kind of like take away from my mom, but I never want to do that. Because as parents, I made many mistakes, and all we do is whatever we was taught, we just pass that on. I just learned that, in passing it on, that it was unhealthy for my household. So when I was in high school, I dropped out in 12th grade. I thought that, having a baby would make me be grown and I could be able to move out, which, put a lot of responsibilities on me that I wasn't expecting. And it gave me a little bit of feeling like I was able to have more control over my life, which I didn't. I didn't. I started hanging around kids, and because I was going through so much as a child, and I held on to that do not tell, what goes on in here stays on here. So a lot of my emotions, I couldn't identify with them. They were locked in. I remember in middle school, I was always getting beat up. Like the girls didn't like me. I would come home from school and get bad grades because I didn't really have nobody sitting there helping me with homework. And I really couldn't like obtain the information. So
comprehension and stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't comprehend it. So when I would come home and ask for help, I would get disciplined for that because my mom would be like, "You sat in school all day and you ain't learned nothing." And then I'm like, but not realizing that my mom didn't understand herself. And that was just the life cycle of being raised in those type of environments. Them underserved communities. Like, we lack from knowledge. And we pass it on unawarely. We pass it on to our children. So we got to break those generational curses. So I've dropped out.
Right. Take the chains off, girl. Come on.
Oh, now. Yeah. I dropped out of school.
The book Azim and I study say people perish for lack of knowledge.
Yes.
Girl, bye.
Yeah.
I love it. And so now you're in high school now. So around 12th grade, what's going on in the 12th grade? Did you graduate?
So I dropped out of school in 12th grade. Okay. Because I was having my first son.
How did I know?
I know, like I was so close. But anyway, I wasn't paying that school no mind anyway. I think at this point they were just passing me on. I was getting like D's and C's. I was so into the boys because anything that even gave me any attention at the time, I just ran to that. And I was so into. Back in the day, remember Little Kim was out, Foxy Brown was out, and I would meet them because I wanted to be that type of person. Like I just wanted people to love me. Like I wanted to feel love. I wanted to feel nurtured, and whatever I saw on TV, it seemed like they was getting it, and I wanted to be that. So I dressed very provocatively. I gained all the wrong attention. I was a lost person. And it's nothing like a child wandering in the world and don't even know who she is. When you don't have an identity of who you are, it's like you're just existing. It's just like you just got a physical body. You're walking around. Any group of people you come in contact with, you create this image of you just want to fit in. So if it's a group of individuals that's smoking marijuana, pass me the marijuana. If it's a group of individuals that's drinking, pass me the drink. If it's a group of individuals that's out here, whatever it is, I became that. And it led me down a whole path of just hardship, more trauma. And I wasn't attached to my son. I love my son, my first son that I had, Sharon Cruz. I made sure that he was nurtured. I made sure I kept him with me a lot. My parents had him a lot. I feel like I could have did more with spending time with him, but all I worried about was what I saw in my household. As long as he had clean clothes on, he had clean sneaks, that's what all that matters. So that spending time, sitting down, reading to them, the things that I get to do for my children now, I didn't know how because I wasn't taught. So I didn't know how to be that type of parent.
That makes sense. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And it's okay to say, I didn't know how. It's perfectly fine to say that. We learned that over time in recovery, that if we don't know, we don't know. And it's okay to say that. So that's good stuff. So now what's going on between 18 and 25?
So at 22, so history repeats itself. So now I'm 17 years old. Now I am living in a 2-bedroom development, low income development, not too far up from where my mom was living at. I also was on government assistance for I think about like a year or so after I had Sharon. Sharon Cruz was my son's name. And then I went on to get a job. I was a CNA because back then it didn't require any type of credentials. You just go to it was a place called Fair Acres. You go to this nursing home and they put you through this extensive training. And after you complete the training, you're certified. And you couldn't tell me I wasn't a nurse. I wasn't. I was a nurse.
That means you took pride, baby.
I did. I took pride in it.
You better wear them clogs.
Yes. I did that for a number of years. I did that for a number of years. And at this point, I was socially, because that's what is socially, drinking and, you know, smoking marijuana, as the young kids would say today, just a sociable thing. Until my life took a turn in 2007. My 7-year-old son was fatally hit by a careless driver. This young man was running to a fight that his girlfriend had been involved in, that I later learned. And he hit my son at high speed. He went through 4 stop signs. And the impact took my son's life instantly. And the son that I have now, my 18-year-old son, is actually his dad's first cousin. So my son that I have now is related to the young man that took the life of my 7-year-old son.
Wow, I'm so sorry. Oh,
yeah, yep. So
and
after that,
how did you get past that? How did you get through that?
It was really tough for me to get through that. I remember though, because I want to keep this, I want to just keep saying this. The company that you keep is very, very important to whoever is listening. You know, I was very vulnerable at the time. I was very, very vulnerable. I was in shock. This was something that I had never experienced. And remember, like I talked about before, I was never attached to emotion and feelings. So now I'm at a place where as though I don't know when to cry, laugh, feel like I'm in a place of shock. Like my body can't even absorb what's even happening. I remember waking up multiple times in the morning. I would go to his room like, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. And that went on for a whole entire week. And a friend of my mother's that lived in this environment, this development that I lived in, had sat on the back step one time. He came to console me, and he pulled out a small bag of white substance, and he began to snort the substance. And I said to him, I said, what did it make you feel like? And he said to me, he said, oh, you couldn't handle this. And I said, yes, I can. And that's how I began. That's how I began to use cocaine. So then the cocaine, right? So from the cocaine and the drinking, the social drinking, now went to me engaging more. I kept drinking more. I started hanging around. Now my social group went from the peers that I used to hang around to older people, because this individual was an older person that introduced me to this. So my whole life had just shifted and changed. Everything about me had shifted and changed. And I was
in your 20s. You in your 20s.
23 at this point.
Right.
I'm a week before going and laying my son to rest. I was very, very vulnerable. You know, I really was. And still at a state of shock and disbelief up until the funeral point. When I actually saw it the day before, you get to see the, you know, see the body, and then the next day the funeral takes place. But even more so, it was just so traumatic. It was just trauma after trauma that I experienced, that it was like an overload, to the point where as though I kept getting involved, and I had like 3 DUIs after that. You know, I was in and out of relationships. Listen to me say relationships. I didn't know what a relationship was. I didn't have a relationship with the person that raised me. I didn't have a relationship with the girls that used to beat me up. I didn't have a relationship with me. I never knew what a relationship was. All I knew was a feeling. So I just, whenever I got something that made my body temporarily feel like a sensation, a little bit of, I would I would keep doing it, not knowing that I kept doing that, and I was feeling it was a void that I was going to never feel.
Yes. Come on, give it up. Y'all heard it right here on Bring It to the Table from Tanisha herself. You heard what she said. It's a void that was never going to get filled. This ain't no joke. Now she's in a place of trauma. She's in a traumatic place in her life. Oh my God, my God. So then what happened?
So then after this went on for a number of years. So Sharon, the incident took place in 2007, July. So he turned 7, June 14th, July the 21st. Sharon, the accident happened. So from 2007 up until 2013, it was nothing but just drinking, you know.
Okay, you was out there. You was out. You was out. You was
Yeah, I
out.
was, but I really like to get into detail when I say drinking and partying, because people like to take advantage of you when you at a very vulnerable point in your life. And
Absolutely.
it's not the people that don't know you. It's the people that's close to you. It's the people and men that always wanted those opportunities with you, that know that you wouldn't dare give them a chance, but they see you at a weak point, so they take advantage of it. It was those girlfriends that really didn't mean well, that that got around you just to expose you, to let the other people know on the outside, yeah, she in there, she's snorting that coke, she doing what y'all saying she doing. But you so vulnerable because you just want to be. All I wanted to do was be loved. All I wanted to do was somebody to take me back to when I first was born and got that nurturing. When you first born and you get all that nurturing, and when you hear that wah, that cry out, somebody running to come get you. I had all that was gone. All that was gone. So in 2013, I fought 2 DUIs. I had one in Delaware County and I had one in Philadelphia. Now, I always knew that I had a way with men. So when I went to the judge and meet in Delaware County, he was so empathetic with me. He said, "Oh, Miss Palmer, he heard my story," because after a while I started to manipulate. I started to use that story. Oh yeah, my child got, and it was getting me, it was getting me places. It was getting me out of situations. However, I really don't think I understood the severity of it, when I was saying it. But when I went to that year later, after the 2013, Delaware County gave me house arrest. Philadelphia said, "You're going to prison." Okay. At this point, I had went in front of a judge, and this judge said, "You're going to prison." And he said, "I told you not to take this case to trial," which I did. And because I was a risk taker. Like I'm gambling it. Like, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, that comes along, taking risk, audience, comes along with active drug use.
Yeah. It's survival skills. It's survival. Listen, by any means necessary, man. I'm telling you.
Azam love when I do my little thing like that. Listen, it is a whole part. I'm talking about a huge part. Every time you get ready to go cop, you taking a risk.
Yeah.
Every time you make the phone call, you taking a risk. And my disease used to be like schizophrenics. Hello, somebody listening? Hello, somebody. Hello. Wait a minute. Shh.
Well, mine was always, I just needed another one. It was never enough. Right. And listen, let me tell you this story, Doc. Let me tell you this story. So one night, I got this bright idea.
Come on.
And a very close friend of mine, I call her my sister. Her son had got murdered a few months after mine's, right? Mm-hmm. And they was buried not too far from each other. So one night, and now at this point, we had both started engaging in cocaine. So I had told her, I said, let's go to the cemetery and see our kids. She was like, all right, just listen to it. Just listen to how sick this is. It's late. It's like 1-2 o'clock in the morning. The bars was closed, and we just got this idea, and we went to go do it. We go. Now, if you know the cemetery, they got high spikes at the cemetery. Yeah. So we go, we jump up on the gate, we get up on the spikes, we cross over. Me, skitzing. I thought I saw the deer. So I go to tell her, it's a deer over there, something running after you. And I go to run, but I'm telling her it's something there, but I go to run in an attempt to get away first. I climb the tree, get back over, and slip on the gate.
Oh my God.
I'm dangling head first. My legs is in the air. I got 18 staples in my leg that night. Ooh. And I was on the bed, and the hospital doctor came. He said, you almost missed your main artery. And when he left, I couldn't wait. He was telling me all this medical stuff. I didn't want to hear that. When he left, she crying. I said, you got more? She said, I said, yes.
Yeah.
Tell a story. Tell a story.
Desperation. Like, I almost took my life, and I'm asking her, I need more of that cocaine that you just gave me. Like, I need more.
That's good stuff right there. Y'all heard it right here first from
you heard it here.
Right here on Bring It to the Table, honey. Wow. Just because someone you lost that you love, and that desperate moment takes place, you're going to still answer to the disease.
You're going to answer to it.
Period. So don't use no matter what. That's what we tell you. Don't use no matter what you're going.
So let me hurry up so I can go, because I know we're on a time strain here. So listen. So now I get the sentence in Philadelphia. right? So now he tell me 18 to 36 months. I did weekends before for DUI. I had never did time in a pen. I did a bid, Azim. I can say that. I did a bid. I say that out of humor. But so what happened was I told my lawyer that day, I said, listen, tell the judge that I lost my son. Now I'm desperate. Now listen, I'm telling him, say anything possible. I get high. I just was saying everything. Like, I'm tired. And the judge took us. They deliberated for a whole hour. And they came back and he said, they're going to send you to a recovery house. I said, wow. But while they was deliberating, I'm going to tell you how God, because I don't want nobody to miss this. God was working, because I had got somebody in that courtroom that told me about Gaudenzia. And they said, tell them you could call them. And I had called them while they was deliberating. And Lydia Norris picked up the phone and said, tell them I got a bed.
Lydia.
Lydia Norris, God rest her soul. She said, tell him I got a bed. And the judge said, because it was not put in place prior to, I had to go to prison. And I went to prison for 90 days. And then I was released in shackles and handcuffs to Gaudenzia, where my whole recovery process started. Nice. But I just want to share and say this too, that drug, that was my best friend. And that was in a marriage with that thing. That thing suppressed me. That thing was there for me during times that I felt I was so lonely. I was so down. I mean, like, it felt like I couldn't live without it. Like, that was the way that I was suppressing my grief, and I really went through a withdrawal period over
absolutely
drugs. Like, I remember myself crying. Sometimes I'll be happy. Like, I was going, like, emotions started tapping in, and I didn't know if it was happy, cry, down, sad. The doctors in there, they was diagnosing me. I was going through.
I'm gonna use an old cutoff tool, and I'm gonna get you away from that, and we're gonna do our switch. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
That was a good story, though. That was so good. Boy, okay, so what day did you get clean? When does the clean part come and you go over to recovery? You in Gaudenzia, so you went to jail. You had to get clean in jail.
No, I would say. That's when it stopped.
I know you ain't using jail.
No. It's a difference from recovery and just stop using, right? So I was separated. I just couldn't use no more. But I started to recover when I got to Gaudenzia. So I would say that the stop using started February the 5th, 2014. I just celebrated 10 years. I have 10 years. I have 10 years. That's and great. I struggled. It was a struggle for me. That's why I said time is very important, because when you look back over that dash and you get to see what you entertained, what you fed, and what you gave the most energy to, you'll really get to see why today you still struggle with some of those things. It's hard. It's not hard. It takes time and practice for you to unlearn some things that you've been learned or taught for a period of time. So I started practicing some things that I saw in recovery when I got to Gaudenzia, to the recovery house. I started getting therapy. Back where I came from, therapy meant like you was crazy, like you was insane. It was so much stigma attached to therapy. But I started getting therapy there. I was court stipulated to parenting classes. I was court stipulated. I think I need to say I was court stipulated.
I love that. I'm glad you're saying that, because people frown upon court stipulated. Yeah. I seen jail save a whole lot of people's lives. Okay,
and that's why I wanted to say that. I was court stipulated too. My license was revoked for 7 years. I had to start over with a breathalyzer for 2 years, which was embarrassing, because my son used to be like, "Mom, why you gotta pull up in front of the school?" Because that thing, you don't know. It just, the alarm goes off at any moment. You gotta breathe a certain way. So.
But that's okay. You got through it. And that's what's important for the audience to understand, that those times will come and those times will go.
Yeah, I was homeless 3 times. I was homeless 3 times in I was homeless in recovery as well. I just knew that everything, me going through that process of recovery and them stripping me from everything. Because when you start in recovery, you take away the mask. There's no enhancement. There's no eyelashes. There's no makeup. There's no lip gloss. There's no earrings. It's a black eye. And they get you to get in touch with you.
And the dude ain't there either. The man is gone. Everything's gone.
Everything's going. It ain't nobody there but you and that little girl.
That's right. That's it. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
Come
You
on.
and that little girl.
Women do recover. Look, so now at what point did you go to school in your recovery?
So I'm glad you asked me that. So in 2015, I went to Temple University, which was a returning program they had there called the Well Program.
That's right. You better take advantage of that. Come on, sis. That's
right.
Yeah.
Listen, I have so many resources. That's what I do today. I just provide resources. That's what my job is. But Temple University had a returning adult program there, and it was a 2-year program. And I was so adamant about receiving my high school diploma or my GED, however you want to put it. But I was so adamant about it that I completed in 6 months. I bought a bicycle. Nice. And I would ride from, I lived up on 64th and Broad Street. The school was down on Cecil B. Moore.
Girl, I know what that school is.
How many miles that was, but it took me about 45 minutes to get there, and I had to be to school on time, 8 o'clock in the morning. So I would get out and get down there, and then I would go. I had got a tutor as well. So now I had my teacher, my professor. I would stay after class because some of the information I couldn't obtain. And so I would stay after class, and then I got a tutor, which Gaudenzia provided. They had so many resources that was available. I took advantage of all of them. And I went back. I got my GED. Not only did I get my GED, but I got a citation that was honored to me and 4 other individuals that day. Our mayor now, Sherelle Parker, at the time, she was a council person. She handed that over to me in front of thousands of people that stood there at this ceremony from individuals that received their high school diploma. And then I went back to college. So now I'm a college student. Also, I sit on the board at the college. Y'all
hear that? Women do recover. She's sitting on board. She's putting up things. She perseveres.
Yes.
She's overcoming. She's conquering things. She's living beyond her dreams. Y'all heard it right here. She's freedom ain't free. You just heard the price that she paid to get to where she did. Boy, y'all better come on, somebody. We do recover.
And I'm a trauma. I just passed my certificate. I am a certified trauma-informed specialist. So, and that's what I teach. I teach trauma, emotions.
I love
it.
I help individuals with emotional and psychological distress. That's what I do.
I love that. That's my favorite, Will. You keep doing what you're doing. I really love it. Thank God for you, Sister Tanisha. We appreciate you. One last question I have. And when did you create In the Eyes of Grieving Mothers?
So In the Eyes of Grieving Mothers was created on 2014, I want to say. I believe like once I came back, because it was something that it wasn't like something I was just like, oh, I want to do. It was like a power within me that was saying like, create this. So I started with Facebook. I started on Facebook. I started a social site, and over a period of like 2 to 3 months, it was like 500 women. Nice. And it was from all over. And now I believe we're at like 1,200 that's on there. And they go in there, they just share how they feel. It's very therapeutic. We have a therapist that comes in there, shares resources. She does this monthly grief support session that she provides for us each month. So yeah, healing is great. I'm telling you.
I love it. I see it. I'm going to have to join that group.
Yeah, it was a privilege and an honor to for you, Azim, to refer me. I really appreciate it. Dr. B, it was an honor.
And I've been meaning to get to you about it, because when Doc hit me up, I said, oh, I know exactly, because and this was all God, because when I went on TikTok and your thing came up, it took me back, because both our sons got murdered in July. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about your son, the 7/21, check it out. That's my clean date in reverse. My clean date is 7/12. You get what I'm saying? So it's so symbolic. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, because the same thing you said, because my son's birthday came, then he got murdered. Your son's birthday came, then he got murdered. You know what I'm saying? And so it was so much symbolic. I said, that's what I'm gonna get. And you was available. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so glad you was.
I'm thankful. Listen, I'm thankful. And and then we're gonna have to do a part 2. You know what I'm saying? We love bringing guests back. You know what I'm saying? Because this is your introduction to bring it to the table, because we want to come back more, right? And so you can tell us again. You just told us about when you started, but then we want to know how it's been going. So you will be invited back for a second piece, so you can tell us specifically about In the Eyes of a Grieving Mothers, man, and the platforms you've been on, the different things you've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, you had an in-depth conversation a while ago, you know what I'm saying? And it was, I heard much more this time, you know what I'm saying? Because that's why I wanted to be all ears. I asked Doc B, I said, hold on, I want to sit back because I need to hear more.
He just like my style, he like the way I feel.
I like Doc B. I like Doc B.
And it's crazy because look, I never was open-minded before. I come from a place that I didn't let women to you. Now I said, Doc, I got to get some more skill sets from you because I came on here as a guest, and then she asked me, would you like to be my co-host? That's how I ended up here.
Yeah,
I came on as a guest some time ago, and it's been a privilege, man.
That's true.
That's my mentor right there for this right here.
That's true. That is
well, so maybe one day you could come on my platform as well, because I have a podcast called In the Eyes of Grieving Mothers as well. And you know what? A lot of if you go on, it's on Spotify. It's actually on all platforms, actually.
Okay.
But a lot of our a lot of our presenters has been men. And recently I was on channel 12. I did they asked me, could I do a storytelling on there? And I was just like, I still feel like, the opportunities that's been presented to me, I just still be like me, but I just thank God for the humbleness. I thank God for me allowing me to be me. Like I'm able to be me today. Like I don't have to show up and be who nobody else want me to be. I'm who I am, and I love it.
There you go. I got you, girl. I'm finna subscribe right now. This is awesome. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Bring it to the table with your girl, author Doc B, and her co-host Azim. Abdul, Triple A is in the building. Thank you so much, Tanisha. We got 4 short minutes, and I want you to tell the audience the last, if there was a grieving mother right now, what would you say to that person?
If you out there and that you're grieving and you're, and you locked in one of those stages, because it's stages, just know that it's a journey. But try to do something for yourself every day. I really can't. Everybody's way of grieving and getting out of those stages is different. But I know that one thing that helped me and helped other mothers that I have worked with, they say that once I do something for myself each day, even if it's just getting out of the bed, brushing my teeth, taking a shower, doing something different, coming out of one room, going into another room, and gradually trying to find a way to a normal life, back to whatever you may seek as normal. Just do that and find a friend, find somebody you can confide in, that you can talk to, somebody that won't get tired of you keep expressing about how you feel about your child. Keep talking about it, because that's how the healing begins, from talking and expressing it.
And if that's not going to help you, just look Doc B up, okay? 267-242-0399. You can go to authordocb.com and book your session at any given time. I'm real good at it. Real good at it. I'm going to watch your documentary right now. As soon as we get off, I want to check all of the streams to make sure everything went through great. I love this, Tanisha. You keep doing what you're doing. God bless you and all the work that you're doing. Really, really, really happy and proud that you decided to come on and share your story with our audience. Thank you so much. Peace out, folks. Now, next week, Doc B is going to bring somebody on that's very special. Doc B got stuck at the airport, and she was in line, and God put 2 other doctors right in front of her. In front of her. So I'm going to bring them on, and we're going to talk about this airport drama that we experienced and how God, we believe, brought all of us together. 2 doctors in the line just got engaged. I'm in the line 4:00 in the morning at the airport, and they say flight canceled. I end up spending 22 hours with a couple who just got engaged and was trying to make their way back to Atlanta, Georgia. They were doctors, so was I. What an amazing story. I can't wait until you all
Can't wait to hear it.
Okay? So thank you so much again. Good night. We love you all. We love you.
Good night.
Good night.
Love y'all. Love y'all like cook food.